Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We continue with our lecture on airport engineering. Now, the second part of lecture 9 is airport marking and lighting. Markings are provided on any of the component of airport in different forms like strips, patches, solid lines, hollow lines, and cart lines. Arrangement can be inclined, perpendicular to runway, or a component on any other shape or any other shape. There are groups of airport marking, runway marking, taxiway marking, runway and taxiway marking, apron marking, wind direction indicator, and land direction indicator. Marking colors. Marking on runways are always white. Marking defines the landing areas on the heliport are also white, except for hospital airports, they use a red H on a white cross. Marking for taxiways and areas not intended for use by aircraft and holding position are yellow. There are different types of runway marking. Runway threshold, it helps identifying the beginning of the runway that is available for landing. Runway designator shows the magnetic heading. Runway center line marking provides alignment guidance during takeoff and landings. Runway aiming points serve as visual aiming point for a landing aircraft. And runway touchdown zone markers identify the touchdown zone for a landing operations. Runway threshold marking, touchdown, land zone marking, edge strip marking, center line marking, and energy number. So, what are the numbers? Runways are numbered designated to the nearest 10 degree in relation to the magnetic north based on approach direction. For example, 84 degrees marked as 8, 85 degrees marked 8 or 9, and 86 degrees is marked 9. Remember, we have done the problem on wind direction. There we find one direction, 90 to 270, we say the runway should be oriented in this direction. So whatever is that direction, we divided it by 10. So that 90 becomes 9 and the other part automatically becomes 27. So this numbers become the runway name and it is always referenced by air traffic control path that the pilot is, for example, the aircraft pilot is being informed by ATC that he or she have to land from 9:27. Means he has to orient his aircraft from the magnetic north of 90 degree so that he can orient and land in this manner. So this is 9 and this is 27. Now this R indicates if there are multiple runways, then R is the right side, L is the left side, and C is the left center line. And this is from the aircraft have to approach from this side of the runway. So on his right, he will find right this runway, or its left or in its center. So that's what I'm saying, the 21L, 21C or 21R. While 3 parallel runways will be labeled with all designated, just 2 parallel will omit the center and become just left and right. Note wind directions are reported in degrees magnitude to provide an applicable reference to the runway direction. So this is the type, this is a threshold marking, this is a touchdown marking, this is fixed distance, and this is the runway's center line. So the first 1000 feet consists of touchdown marking, and then there is a touchdown zone. Then If you go along, these bar will become lesser. Runway satellite markings identify the center of the runway for guidance on takeoff and landing. Painted white in color, one center line marking is 35 meter in length and the gap between marking is 25 meter, giving 60 meters for a full set. Aiming markers, as you can see, this is our called aiming markers, are serve as a visual target for landing aircraft. Consists of two broad white strips on each side of the runway, about 300 meters from the runway threshold. Touchdown markings. These are 1.8 meter wide strips, spaced at 1.5 meter clear distance, and are of 22.5 meter in length. Thin white strips identify the touchdown floor for landing operations. 3, 2, and 1, 3 strips symmetrically bars arranged in pairs on each side of the runway. This is the aerial view of the runway marking. Threshold marking, rubber designations, touchdown zone markings, and then. Runway edge strip consists of two strips along each side of runway. If width of the runway is greater than 60 meters, the strip should be located 30 meters away from the center line. So these are the strips. The thickness of this strip is 90 centimeters. Runway's shoulder markings are in the form of yellow strips, as you can see, 90 centimeter wide and 30 meters apart. 15 meters. These markings extends up to a maximum of 1.5 meter from the edge of the shoulder. Runway shoulders are marked with diagonal lines with 45-degree angles. These are the place where aircraft must not have their wheel on it, and that's why it's clearly marked here. As you can see, all these are shoulder. All these are shoulders, and you can see this 45-degree angle as I've said. Runway threshold marking consists of a pattern of a longitudinal stripes of uniform dimensions placed symmetrically above the center line. They extend laterally within 3 meters of the edge of the runway. They are 1.8 meter, 3.6 meter wide with a spacing of 1.8 and 0.9 meter between them. Usually provide to clear the obstruction of the flight path. Actually, threshold inform the pilot that this is where the runway is started. A pilot is not supposed to land on the threshold. It has to land on that touchdown zones, but threshold gives him or her indication of the start of the runway. So this is threshold. Then there is a taxiway. After landing, an aircraft has to move to the terminal building. All this path from runway to a taxiway to an airplane is a taxiway. So it connects runways with apron, hangar, terminals, and other facilities. The center line markings provide a visual cue to permit taxiing along a designated path. Ideally, pilots should maintain center line, but be aware this does not guarantee wingtip clearance of obstacles on either side. There is a normal center line, consists of a single continuous yellow line and covered under two black lines. Enhanced center line used at the larger commercial service airport. This enhanced center line marking consists of parallel lines of yellow dashed lines on either side of the normal taxiway line, located at 150 feet prior to our own runway holding position marking. taxiway edge marking. They consist of a continuous double yellow line, with each being at least 50 centimeter in width. They divide the taxiway edge from the shoulder. Dash markings, they consist of a broken yellow lines, with each line being at least 6 inches in width, separated by 6 inches. They are used when there is an operational need to define the edge of a taxiway or taxi on a paved surface where the adjoining pavement to be taxiway is extended for use by an aircraft. Now, surface painted taxiway gives you the direction. For example, this is the place you are in, and this is the place. You, this 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 is this tells you this is taxiway A. So written with yellow background with black inscriptions, provided when it is not possible to provide taxiway directions at intersection or where necessary to supplement. So if you have a black background and there is a letter A, it means you are standing at this taxiway. Now, if you are this yellow with omitted background means that you are not taxi, you are heading towards taxiway A, or in other words, if you go ahead on the right side, you will find taxiway A. Located at points with low visibility in airport surface movement guidance control. Identify the line location of taxiing aircraft when visual runway is below 1200 feet. So designated the number of letter to corresponds to the consecutive position of marking on the route. Now, before entering to the main runway, an aircraft is asked to park before it gets permission and enters it, because this main runway may be used by another aircraft, either occupied by taking off aircraft or it is being occupied by an aircraft which is supposed to land. So the aircraft does not enter directly to the runway. Instead, it stops at this line, and then there are solid yellow lines where aircraft is to hold, and it only proceeds until it has been allowed. So this is the position sign of taxiway to runway 9 and to taxiway A. So this is the path that you are on this runway. Now these are the signs, these are the boards on erected on the side of the taxiway or a runway. So this is the location that you are standing at taxiway A, and if you go right, go ahead, you will find taxiway B. So this is stop bar signs, white on blue background. The designation consists of letter S, stop by followed by designations on which the stop bar is positioned. This other different airports have other sign, but this is the common sign you will see in the airport. Now, all taxiway markings, unlike runway markings, are yellow in colors to differentiate from the runway marking, and they can be visible in the night as well. Runway surface in pavement central line markings identify the runway center line during adverse visibility conditions. These are embedded on the center line, and you can see this can only glowing during the day or in a poor visibility condition. This is taxiway surface markings. Double markings indicates the edges of the taxiway as the edge of the full strength pavement. or yellows consist of transfer strips extended from edgeway marking which are not intended for aircraft use. So all these are yellow lines, and this is the actually the lights, taxiway lights, which are blue in color. So hold lines, these are called hold lines, two yellow bars with two yellow dashed bars. So all vehicles, whether it's a ground vehicles or an aircraft, must hold at this point for entry to the runway. So this is what I'm saying. So this is the gate number 31A. So the aircraft is supposed to go at this gate number 31A. It has to stop by the satellite lines or yellow leading lines, so that aircraft has to proceed this way to the bridge, pedestrian bridge, or what we call a bridge from which the passenger get transferred. Wing clearance lines are white or red, and this right indicates that not everybody is allowed to enter at this point. So this is another look at the taxiway marking. So 5 types of airports. This is a mandatory sign informing the runway. That the runway is at ahead. So this 25L7R. So if you go on the right side, you will reach runway having 7 from right, or if you go on the left side, you will find 25. This is a location sign that you are located at this taxiway, and this is a direction sign that if you go ahead, you will go find taxiway B. And then it informs you what is the information sign. You have to check point 3. This MIL means it's a military area. So again, if you go ahead, now you have approached this runway, 7R25. This is the holding line. Aircraft must hold. This is a mounted site. You are on taxiway F, and there is, if you go further, you will find runway from 25, and it's a left runway. Or if you go to taxiway U, you will find 7, and it is from left. So either a plane can flow from 7 to 20, from direction of 7, and or it can flow from 25. It depends upon the direction of the wind. Again, this is the same show. F, you are standing at F taxiway, you are standing at G, and you are standing at U, and this is where the aircraft is holding, and it is going from 7 to 25. This is B16, you are standing. This approach, you are approaching runway 7L, or you are standing at P, or you are approaching, you are at taxiway P, and you will be approaching this runway, and similarly at B. Another cell. So there is an instrument landing system where the aircraft use the instrument landing system to land, and then there was told you a VFR situation where visual flight rules, where that the pilot sees and take off and land according to decision made by. So any aircraft operator who is confronted with a mandatory instruction sign must not conduct any operation in strict obedience for instructions from FAA aircraft. So all these red signs, they must be are mandatory signs. Failure to comply may result in runway incursions, airfield collisions, and or loss of airfield driving privileges. These are for all the ground vehicles and any aircraft company who is operating. They have to they bound to follow these signage in a true manner for the safety of the aircraft, not for themselves but for the other as well. Now, these are the indicators that runway is closed for some repair, and these are the red lights. Now, runway lighting system. Now, let's discuss what types of runway lighting we have. The first light you find on the edge of the runway is runway end light. For aircraft landing on this type, you will see this red line. This red bar indicates that this is the end of the runway. Or if the aircraft is coming from this side, he will find all line greens, meaning that this is the start of the runway. These are we called runway end lights. Now, these two green line indicates blinking that this is the width of the runway or edge of the runway. So we call this as runway end identifier lights. Then this is the edge lights, white in color, and this represents the width of the runway. Remember, on the last half of the center line, this becomes yellow, indicating that the pilot, if he has landed from this side, is reaching towards the end of the runway. Then we have a center line, looks white in color, but as you can see, if the aircraft has landed from this side, alternately, then he will start to see white and red. Now it means that the end is approaching, and the last 1,000 feet, it says this red light indicates that yes, you have to stop now because the end is approaching. Now, then there are other set of light we called a Vasi light and a Papi light. I'll explain to you in detail after this explanation. Then this is what we call a touchdown zone light. This gives an indication that the aircraft can land at this place, and I'm coming from here. Now, this is approach lighting system. This is much start before the start of the runway. So if the aircraft is flying during the night, he or she will see these bar of lights. This is a decision bar where a pilot decides whether to land or take off. Remember, this light is the edge of the runway, but we have the light extended below behind this line, so that then there are the different system, medium approach light system, fixed sequential flashing, and then there are different types of lights. So this is, you will see that this green line indicates the aircraft can land. If this is a red sequencing, that the aircraft is not allowed to land. So this thing, all it's green, indication the aircraft, the runway is ready for the landing. Then this is a displaced threshold lighting, and this is, you can see the reflection of the touchdown lighting, but with a red color. So it means that you have approached the runway, but you cannot land before runway. So this is identical, but they are red in color. So if the pilot sees white color, then that's it. It has to turn out red color. Now this is once the aircraft is landing, it's indicating the taxiway. So if the aircraft is turn left to go to the taxiway. So we call this a taxiway lead on and lead off lights. Now the taxiway lighting in pavement, it extends across the whole line. Aircraft proceeding to close the restricted area may result in loss of life and substantial property damage. So this is where we will stop here, and we'll discuss this thing in the next part of this lecture. Thank you very much for listening.